Hello, in this video we would like to discuss a major issue within society today, which is teenage pregnancy. Before we start a discussion about teenage pregnancy, I would like to address a question to the audience, which is, what's your thoughts on sexual intercourse? It is really important question because everyone has their own idea about sexual intercourse, and a lot of people would only think of the pros but never the cons. One problem among teens today is that they are curious about a lot of things in life in which they take actions in seeking out that curiosity, such as sexual intercourse. However, curiosity can also lead to many problems when one is not fully aware of the situation they're getting into, especially when that person has not reached the age of adulthood. The media that we have today are the ones who arouse that the curiosity that teens have in sexual intercourse, and education and parenting that we have are not enough to stop leading to teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy is not only a societal problem, but it is a family problem and personal problem all combined in one. While the pregnant teenage girl is the one who suffers the most from the circumstance due to medical complications, her family, her child, and often many of her family members will pay a high price for the indiscretion that lead to the pregnancy. That is why something needs to be done in order to prevent teenage pregnancy from occurring. We cannot tell all the teens out there to stop having sexual intercourse, because in situations like these, when we tell someone to stop doing something, it will actually have the opposite effect and instigate them into wanting to do it even more. So the best way to prevent pregnancy and early motherhood is proper sexual education, responsibility for education, and interpersonal adequate education. Now let's go into more detail with teenage pregnancy, who to blame, and the cure for this problem. According to the website WebMD, made up of professional medical staff and editors such as Michael Smith, the article Teen Pregnancy, Medical Risk and Realities that was created in 2010 explains the medical risk that come with teenage pregnancy. Pregnant teens are at risk of not getting adequate prenatal care, which is critical in the first month of pregnancy, because prenatal care screens for medical complications that arise in both the mother and baby and quickly deal with any complication that arise. If one is not getting adequate prenatal care, there is a high chance of birth defect and an even higher risk of getting pregnancy induced hypertension for the mother. These medical conditions are not only the problem of the mother and the family. Once the baby is born, the family member will have to bear the responsibility of taking care of the baby as well, because their teenage daughter cannot do it alone, since she is also dependent on the family as well. The expense to raise a baby for the first year is roughly around $12,000, and it can be double, especially if they do not plan advance. The cost of raising this baby can be a huge burden on the family, especially if the family is of low income. Even if the financial cost of raising a baby does not pose a problem, the burden of taking care of a baby is more than enough to cause the mother of that baby to drop out of high school. Now that we have an understanding of the complication that comes along with teenage pregnancy, who can we actually blame for this problem?
Teen pregnancy is an unavoidable social problem in today. More and more teenagers are facing this problem. On January 2014, the New Straits Times recently reported the statistics from the health department showed that before 2012, the number of teen pregnancies is more than 18,000. The number from 2010 was 5,962. We can see the number is raised even more. So behind the huge number of teen pregnancies, who are we going to blame this serious problem to? First is the media. Today the internet is an indispensable part of our life. But what coming with the popular of internet is that we can easily find the information of sexual stuff from the internet. There is a limit of age to look at these websites, but the limitation doesn't work very well. Teenagers can always find their ways to check out those websites. Then their curiosity and the psychological inversion can make them do things over control. Second is the education. Now, school does provide sexual education, but I don't think that's enough to solve the problem. The teenager needs to learn more about not only the sexual education, but also the education of how seriously this problem is of teenager getting pregnant and how many responsibilities are behind the teen pregnancies that they need to face as soon as they got pregnant or they make someone else get pregnant. The last part is parents. Parents are always too busy to take care of their kids, which make their kids think that they are independent enough to deal with everything. Parents are the ones who need to surprise about what kind of book their kids are reading, what kind of magazines or websites their kids are looking at. Parents are where those education can provided to the kids except school. Parents need to ensure their children know the consequences of their action so children can make intelligent choices.
The best way to prevent pregnancy and early motherhood is proper sex education. Responsibility for education and interpersonal etiquette education. Prevent sex education and contraception. But there are also many other ways to keep it safe. The first one, rhythm matter. Preventing pregnancy success rates of 70 to 80%. Avoid sexual reproductive period in accordance with the law of ovulation matter. Menstrual regularity about the dot before the next menstrual ovulation 14 to 16 days in 2 to 3 days before and after this date insecurity. The second one, the male condom to prevent pregnancy. Contraception success rate of 80 to 90%. Avoid the sperm and eggs meat method. Before intercourse, the man set the genitals by physical care. It is the most commonly used among the young people. The third one, place the certain operation ring. Put the ring in intrauterine device to prevent pregnancy success rate of 85%. The fourth, know what to do if a pregnancy occurs. If you think there is a chance that your parents might be pregnant, you get pregnancy test as soon as possible. It is important to find out as soon as possible if you keep pregnant because it leaves more options for what to do about it.
After all, teen pregnancy remains a big issue in the US. Prenatal care and the medical conditions are the problems that the mother and the family need to worry about because the responsibility of taking care of a child is enormous. The shortage of education and the development of internet makes sexual information are too easy to find, and lots of children can't get enough care from their family are the main reasons of the big issue. The only thing you'd be able to do to avoid teen pregnancy is to prevention. However, it's important to be aware of those options available to you, such as getting the baby adopted or keep raise the baby by yourself.